There you go. We have Halloween here. Holy. Did you guys see that? It was light. Yeah, they're shining some light. You can see it. It's not badass, but still. One more time so I don't look crazy, please. I look crazy. Okay, no problem. It's kind of cloudy, isn't it? Don't Dash, it's your boy Ash. Hope you guys are having a wonderful 31st of October, which is Halloween for a certain universe, not mine, of course. Life isn't only about catching Pokemon. It's also about enjoying time with a friend, watching movies. So I thought Ash could do a review. That movie is Coraline. So I believe that Coraline sits out there with a classic. Coraline sits out there with the traditional Halloween movie. Kind of funny because you have classic Christmas movie, right? And it was a classic Christmas movie. Oops, I don't want to think the Falcons. There's a lot of I'm tired. There's a lot of wind. So yeah, so Coraline. Coraline is a clay motion movie. Whenever you have a clay motion movie, you're striking by three things: how gorgeous it is, how much effort it is, and how much freedom it gives artistically. Coraline is a beautiful movie, and because it is clay motion, it's not so about the quality of the rendering. It's not about the quality of the camera, right? It's clay motion. Doesn't matter how good your camera is, it's still gonna be clay. That is the beauty of it. So, Claire Coraline is such a beautiful story. It is this girl that's clearly unhappy with life. And as a kid, I would love Coraline. I thought it was a really cool movie, right? I thought little Coraline was a badass. As an adult, I feel bad for the mom. You can see that the mom is really trying to do her best to help her, and Coraline is kind of just like a hard kid to deal with. But but it is a simple fact that those two don't really get along together. And that's the most of the relationship. The father is there, but it's not almost not there, right? And then Coraline, she has this fucking shitty life. She's like, fuck you, I don't care. And that's the best part about Coraline. Coraline movie is about two universe. It is very reminiscent of Nightmare Before Christmas. I have this piece of plastic in my ears. It's annoying me because it's a piece of plastic that I have to go to the hospital. I have 2 more videos for that hospital. So yeah, so Coraline, she just like in Nightmare Before Christmas. If it wasn't for the fact that she was unsatisfied, she would have not went there. And of course, the duality of it, right? The duality of it having two people having how can I say that? Having two reality, one where you get to do whatever you want, but which is reality. You're gonna be trapped inside the world. You're gonna be wanting to go into the world where you can pretty much do everything you want, right? Just like me with the Pokemon League, and it's actually fun. Oh, we got a club port. We are Pokemon indeed. Look at it. You guys see it? I don't think you can. I'm hoping to get it. Where are you? Fuck. There you go. You see this little guy? Look at it. Clubboard. Perfect. Anywho, so we have this catching Pokemon out there. You have this Coraline is the story of this girl once again, who has the possibility to be in a life. And the beauty of Coraline isn't the beauty of Coraline isn't that it's a small girl going into a world of imagination, right? Alice in Wonderland, very similar to that. They're both falling in a hole. Both are placed in a magical kingdom, right? The beauty of Coraline is how aware of it she is. See, in the beginning of the movie, Coraline understands her life is shit. For example, right? There's this, they move into this new building, and she tells the story, and her mom's like, "Hey, go make friends, go talk with them." And Coraline said, "No, you said that they were crazy." She talked about a kid, a guy who has this, what should we call it? he has this almost circus of mice, and in real life, this guy's a drunk. Like at in this version, this guy's a drunk. In this version, he's a mastermind. So you see, in both the universe, the beauty of Caroline is that they're both pretty restricted. They're both in the building. The universe is in the building. So when you move to the story and Coraline picks up eyes of children disappear, which we're gonna get into, right? Um, it's beautiful because the world disappeared little by little. So you understand that the whole world was made by the other mom. So Coraline, understanding her life issue, naturally will go and try to find something else. She goes into this world, and this world is perfect, right? But the two people that really had her back were telling her, don't go there. Witty and the cat. And it's funny because the cat, she doesn't like the cat. But the cat is like, you still gotta live with me. The cat's, you warned her that it's a crazy world. And the cat is her to the cat. And now think about the cat from Alice in Wonderland. It's very hard. The Witty in itself, and Witty is possibly one of the best character in Coraline. Another character that you're gonna like is Coraline, but Witty is important. See, Witty, when you see him, Witty's walking and he's crooked, and Witty, every single time that he's talking, he's either nervous or scared. So you can tell that if Coraline has a shitty life, Witty has a shitty life. So Witty was able to find once again the well, able to go to this outside world, took the deal, took the I'll be staying here. And if my eyes are the price, I'll pay the price. And it's cool because the way it's presented, it's really, really nice. Because the way it's presented is you like living here, all you have to do is give me your eyes, we'll let you live here, no problem. And Coraline thinks about it. And it's kinda cool because Coraline is a lot of things, but she's a kid. So when you ask her to commit, she's like, oh, whoa, I wanna commit. The reason why we're outside is because it's still Halloween, and I'm hoping for kids to be walking around in costume and we can hear them because I think it's cool. Yeah, so Coraline, and that's pretty much the story. Coraline goes into this world, and she sends her to mom, and the mom right away transforms into this monster. And what is kind of cool is the second, the very second that the second mom transformed into this monster is very different. She disfigured the dad, which is kind of crazy because even though the dad wasn't really present in the real world, in this world, she just destroyed him. So it is something crazy. Also, you can see that she changes to be a monster, and without necessarily losing that motherly love, because we later learn, okay, that she was an important character. I'm not gonna spoil it because some people have still don't see this classic, and you realize that she was kind of trapped into this world. We don't know how she got the eye. We don't know why she created this world, but I do believe somebody else was there before her, and she kept her kids, and the kids, she's like, "Yo, I'm lonely here, please." She always wanted to be a mother. See, there's this belief that as you as you grow up, you have those father instinct come over you. You have those mother instinct come over you, and that's why you want to be a father. You want to be a mom. Maybe she wanted to be a mom, but really she couldn't because of her body. So she's kind of stole her soul. A lot of people say in the movie they even say, "Oh, she feeds on us," but that's an understanding of again a kid, right? Well, the most beautiful part is there's a confirmation that she feeds on them, right? And the confirmation was when she picked up the eye, picked up the control. The fact that the moon, I always had a fascination with the moon. Always had. The fact that the moon is slowly getting covered by a button, right? It's amazing. It's a very cool way of seeing things. The actual theater is so cool. It is beautiful. It is really, really beautiful. It's so well made. And even when you see the woman again, her face is all cracked up because she's losing power. You know. Now the beautiful thing, the extreme beautiful thing, right, was that there is a common, there's a common trope, a common fanfic. Okay, so basically what happened is, even with Witty, Coraline told the mom, "Hey, Witty talks too much," so she sued Witty, and it's just to show how crazy she is, right? And it's funny because she sued. it's crazy because you see this loving mother, and again the pacing is amazing here. You're seeing this loving second mom, like okay, wow, and then the story continue, and then wait, oh, Coraline said talk too much. It's getting now so shocked. Okay, she's a bit crazy, but except for that, this is the only moment where she truly did something awful, right? And then the great thing, it's amazing. It's completely amazing. Is at the end when you get these kids who are dead, you're being told that yo, it's normal because she did that to Whitney. And at the end, the fan fiction says you know that the parents were kind of locked into a snow globe, right? But then we don't really get a confirmation that they were stuck there. And there's a comic trope where the mom of the Coraline she's crooked, and the mom with the button eyes is a straight nose. It's a straight nose. So everybody says that Coraline didn't really escape. And that's the beauty of Coraline. The beauty of Coraline isn't necessarily the story itself. See, it's what really happened, you know. And it's what I love. You're seeing the story through the mind of a kid with a lot of imagination, right? Like, okay, well, she definitely didn't see that. She definitely dreamed that. But did she? And you'll never know. Anywho, love guys, take it easy. Peace. Double Dash is your boy Ash with the Halloween finale. So we're gonna do one BTS and then do one real story. So the BTS, this is it. So how did it feel to be in Halloween? Well, first of all, it's a bit bittersweet. I'll be honest. You guys have been loving the content, which I'm very grateful for. It was a really cool thing. It was a really cool thing where it's very bittersweet. This is behind the scenes, by the way. So a lot of people, if you don't want to watch it, it's not a super important video. But it's bittersweet because you guys love the content. I was extremely nervous. To go into a costume. This is the first time I do this now. Last year we did a small video about a costume, right? And it was very small. And it's kind of crazy because it's baby step once again. So I met part of myself, absolutely. I had this context, which is really cool. We were opening cards, right? I even had the idea to ask people how much Pokemon affected them, which is again our final video. What does Pokemon mean to me? Which is the transfer between Ash and Ink. And it's a beautiful thing because a fun part. I was supposed to be a Sims character, but then I saw a chick, a woman streamer, wear this Ash Ketchum. And I was like, yo, dude, that's incredible. And a lot of Pokemon, and it really mattered to me. And lately, I've been having a lot of not necessarily focusing, but I've been putting in a lot of effort into the main channel and the gaming channel. So this costume was a cool way to do both, right? Because Pokemon is, in my mind, a movie, it is a show, it is a card game, it is a video game. For first and foremost, another very sweet is I was very nervous, but the beauty is I'm the kind of guy who's very decisive until I'm not. When I have my head down, I have my head down. So I knew for a fact that me getting out of the house was the hardest part. The second hardest part was to go to the store, to be at the store. But going to the store was easy because at first, yes, I was nervous because I was the only person in costume. I'm like, okay, that's not a big deal. I went to the store and I realized in the last one, I'm like, shit. I'm like, actually shit. Which sucks. But in its sweetness, we managed to do what we wanted to do. I had a plan for Halloween this year, and I managed to do the plan for Halloween this year, which is great, which is phenomenal. I'm really happy about that. I'm now the kind of bitter. See, my goal, and this is a secret I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you, it's actually behind the scene. I'm gonna tell you a secret. My mindset was like, as long as I'm not the only guy wearing a costume, I'm good. And I don't care what I look like. There's somebody else wearing a costume, right? And if somebody would say, yo, what the fuck costume? Who wears a costume? I could be like, oh, there was the other guy. I'm gonna point out, obviously, But still, I thought it was kind of cool, you know? But there was nobody. And do I care about nobody's wearing a costume? Well, it makes it harder. And I kind of feel sad because, okay, oh my god, I wasn't gonna do psychology. But let's do a little psychology. See, the channel is, first and foremost, a way for me to improve as a human being. It is a way for me to become a better person, to become more apt to survive in society. The guy who started the channel, not apt to survive in society. This guy would have ended up unleavening himself. I come a long way since that guy. I've evolved a lot. But I'm not done evolving, right? And the part of me that lies, and that part of me that lies was thinking, you know what? All I need is one other person to disguise himself. Then I don't look crazy. But deep down, that's not the truth. The truth is, as long as there's one more person who disguises himself in the whole of the shopping center, then it's an event. And that way of putting a costume was again part of the celebration of Halloween. I don't care to what extent. It was again part of the celebration of Halloween. So being the only guy that cared enough to put a costume, right? No, if I'm being honest, if it wasn't for filming, I would have not done it. But if it wasn't for filming, I would still be that guy that started the channel. Understand? And I think that guy doesn't exist anymore. I think this guy that you're seeing right now is the real me. It's a bit of the confidence that built me up, you know. But I was a bittersweet. Otherwise than that, it was good. I'm pissed about the Venom. So if you go on the website, I'm not talking to you guys like about the theater. They're watching this. If they're not watching this, then fuck you. You're not watching this. This fun is so wrong. Okay. I went to the website, and when you tell me your movie started at 4:15, and I go in here at 4:15, the movie's already started. Now it did occur to me after 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe I'm in the wrong room. So the thing I did, I went to the theater, and there was next to no employees. There was one person at the cashier for popcorn. That's about it. Nobody to check my tickets. Nobody. I could have stolen it. I would have stolen it if it wasn't for the video. But I needed a ticket to show a thumbnail, which was a good idea. So I didn't really see the whole thing, but listen, I wasted 20 minutes, so it's not a big deal, but still, it's like, okay, well, the plan was, okay, cool, you're gonna go somewhere, disguise. The main plan was to watch Venom, it wasn't to go to costume, you know? I was excused to go to somewhere when it comes to costume. It's like, well, I need to go to the grocery store to buy eggs and milk. But they have a special bacon, so I'm gonna buy bacon. You know what I mean? And lastly, the biggest pros, and you saw it in the last video we did, I asked my friend, and this is truly behind the scene. Doesn't get more behind the scene than that. That's how life is amazing. If there was more people, okay, that had a costume, I would have not think about that. But because I felt like, oh, I'm the only guy, I think about, what if I ask my friend, who's their favorite Pokemon? And I got 12, 15 answer. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I was the only one who got to here, but I'm not the only one that cares about Pokemon. And I'm not the only one who cares about this. See, even then, I got recognized 3 times. One of the guys said, yo, nice costume. He was smiling, so I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. There was a girl talking about Pikachu, which I mentioned, and there was another guy who would say, hey, what's up, Ash? I'm like, yo, kind of cool. But at the same time, you know, it's weird. It's weird because I spent so many years, and that's my fault, but I spent so many years not giving a fuck about Halloween. And when you walk around, you saw me waiting to corn and giving shout out to people who decorate their houses, which is a lot less. So is Halloween not a thing anymore? I don't know. And look. Anywho, long that video. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink. Bloopers. Don Dash, it's your boy Ash. Welcome to the finale of our Halloween series of 2024. And I think this is the perfect video to end it. We did behind the scene on how the whole day went. We did the recapping, which was really cool. But I think the final video, there's only one way to truly. Ah shit! I should have taken notes. It's okay. We'll do it. We'll take care of it. No problem. Um, I think the perfect way to end it. I'm talking about Pokemon because yes, it's a costume about Pokemon, but it's a real universe of Pokemon, and it is the perfect. Because again, very short story, but you can see why I should have took in some notes. You're gonna understand. You see, my first costume wasn't that. Like your Ash costume was gonna be so cool. First costume in Pokemon was in my life for so fucking long. Y'all don't even understand. It was. I'm gonna talk about this in this video, but transferring into a okay, well, this is less of a costume. This is about Pokemon itself. I think it's perfect. I think it's so freaking nice. So, what does Pokemon means for me? Well, a lot. But if you take a person like Mythical V, it is a Mewy male version. If you take a person like ICU for CUX, it's a Magikarp. If you take someone like Anthony Deflex, it is a Gengar, right? If you take someone like Talia, it is a Charmander. If you take somebody like Holly or RG Baby, it is a Jigglypuff. If I take somebody like Dauphin, sorry, it's a French name. It's a Charizard. If I take a person like Vince, it is an Infernape. If I take a person like Apple Run, it is a Pikachu. If I take a person like In Vendetta, it is a Totodile. If I take a person like I'm missing one and I'm trying to gain some time to remember it, but I can't. That's why I should have taken some notes. Aiden, put a sit down. That's what it means to a lot of people. This is the people I ask. This is the people I asked. Pokemon, if you were born in the 90s, was just great. See, I was lucky enough, very lucky, to have a game you could bring at school. For example, Pokemon. I remember going to a day camp, a summer camp, technically. And I remember bringing my Game Boy and hearing everybody talk about Pokemon. They're having battles, they're trading Pokemon. There was a Game Boy Color. Pokemon meant so much to me because it was one of the first RPGs that I played. One of the first games that I really liked. See, I was extremely lucky. One of the first games that I really had was Zelda Ocarina of Time. The problem with Zelda Ocarina of Time was one of the first games that I really enjoyed. I fell in love with Ocarina of Time as soon as I played it. There is a story with Ocarina of Time that we're going to be inserting in this story. If you play Ocarina of Time, you know how the story goes. And you know the first boss is the Goma Queen. Now, what you don't know is little Inky was really afraid of the Goma Queen. Really afraid. What little Inky would do, 5, 6 years old Inky, 7 years old, 8 years old Inky, he would do the game all the way, the Goma Queen, and restarts. Now there's a second guy called Inky. And he received Pokemon Silver. And he is hearing about Pokemon. You're not gonna believe how important Pokemon was. And gaming wise, this is the first game that I remember having a real issue, but didn't care. You don't want to know how much I love the game. My first Pokemon was Totodile. I didn't speak a lick English. I didn't understand a lick of English. So I had the same party. My party was a Ferret, was a Graveler, was a Noctowl. So yes, every single Pokemon that you can catch in the beginning. So I didn't understand English. What I used to do, I would go all the way till the special tree and the Iridian Forest. Still remember the name. In between the Ilex City and Goldenrod City. I needed to cut that tree, and I didn't know that, so I was stuck there. I had Totodile. Battling level 6 Pokemon. I got a Feraligatr. Yeah. How much time I put in? Pokemon had such a high impact on me. because at the daycare, the actual daycare that I was going, I was possibly 4 or 5 years old. We were watching the first season of Pokemon of Ash, which was the Indigo League, which was insanely good. Then one of the first movie that I remember watching, really watching in theaters with my dad. And again, my parents were separated. I was very young. I was 6 years old. The first movie that I remember watching with my dad, Star Wars 1, Phantom Menace. One of the first movies that I remember watching with my mom was Pokemon Mew. I had a VHS. And I remember watching Lugia. Legend of Lugia. I remember watching The Legend of Entei. I remember that. And I have to say that those memories were good. I remember going to the movie theater and them giving out a Mew. And I still have it. It was just so special. I remember playing on my Game Boy Color, Silver, and how cool it was. And it was so cool because it was one of the first RPG that I really enjoyed. Then I remember playing the Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire, which were really good, but didn't feel the same. See, it's weird. It's really weird. As an adult, as a kid, I really enjoyed Silver because that was the only game that I had. Then I really enjoyed, really enjoyed Emerald and Sapphire. But I really enjoyed it, but I played it 2 times. One of the games that I really enjoyed was Fire Red. Fire Red, I played a shit ton of it. But as a young adult, I fell in love back with Silver. Now, what I'm not telling you was I had a emulator. And I'm talking about this for in between the age of 15 and 24 for the emulator. And I would always play Silver. I would play it every year because it was my first Pokemon game. But it was, to me, it was just perfect. It was amazing graphic, amazing cast of Pokemon, 250 to be exact. It was day and night was 8th city plus Kanto. So when you finish the first 8 badge, you had the 8 badges from the Pokemon Red and Blue, which was insane to me. It was such an important game in my life. And what really became important is I told you a story, and I wasn't planning on it, but I told you a story about how my parents were telling me you need to work, and I was just like, hey, I have this job already. 20 hours, that's all I need to survive. I don't need more. And I told you how much I enjoyed listening to radio and playing emulator. Now, what am I not telling you is I had 2 emulator, an emulator for the Game Boy Color, and an emulator for the Game Boy Advance. There's a phone that I had that was really good. It was a Sony Xperia, and I can play PSP games on it. But then that game, I made a mistake, and I was so addicted to gaming that the charging completely destroyed. And on that phone, I played game like Persona 3. It was phenomenal. I'm telling you. Imagine listening to radio, play Persona 3 the whole day. Oh, it was great. And then the battery broke. And the next phone that I had, I don't understand why, wasn't able to play PSP games. So I'm back with Game Boy Advance. But now, I had a quality of game. So I was like, this phone is gonna last me 2 years. I'm gonna buy a new phone that might be able to play these games. I want to play quality games. That's when I learned about the ROM hacks. Oh. I could be playing a new Pokemon game every single week. On those emulators, you could put the game speed at 8 times the speed. So if a game would take 2 hours to beat, to me it would take 10 hours to beat. Now, is it safe to say I didn't have a PS3? I didn't have any consoles? Is it safe to say that I played for more than 10 hours per day? It is very safe to say. So I would almost beat the Pokemon game a day. Yeah. So Pokemon was super important. And it's not because the Pokemon universe for me, if anything, it's one of the best marketing things. Um, if you're not a gamer, then you possibly like the show. If you didn't like the show, you possibly like the card. It was something for you. But the reality of Pokemon and the greatest thing that it did, the greatest thing that it did, isn't Scarlet and Violet, okay? It isn't Sword Moon. It isn't Sun and Moon. It isn't Y and X. It isn't yeah. Did you get the points right? The best thing they did was Pokemon Go. I remember how crazy it went when Pokemon Go was a thing. I remember how insane people went. I swear to God, you're not gonna believe this, but I swear on my freaking life. At that time, I was going out with friends. A lot of bar time. I was 21, 22. And I remember the police going into a park. A park when you saw me going to work, I just by that park, that park. And the police had to go and say, hey, go back to your home, this is the curfew. Because people were out there playing Pokemon Go. I remember everybody playing Pokemon Go. You know how big it was. And events say, oh, if we're there, there's this Pokemon. And it was amazing. And to a certain degree, you're asking yourself, just how big was Pokemon? Huge, humongous. And then you have to realize something. Nowadays we have tournaments of League of Legends, we have tournaments of Call of Duty Mobile, we have a lot of tournaments. But one of those first tournaments was Pokemon, right? One of the first tournaments was Pokemon the gaming. One of the first was the trading card game. And Yu-Gi-Oh was really good. And see, it's amazing. And I finally remembered the last one I forgot. I think I was forgetting one in the beginning. Sir wins a lot with Sear, Fetch, or Farfetch. Yeah, absolutely. I remember you. I think I don't remember, but I remember. See, Pokemon was huge. And lately there was a death in Pokemon. A death of a career. The Ash won the tournaments. Became a Pokemon master. Now the story of his daughter. Although it's cool, it's not the same. It might never be the same. Pokemon might never be what we know Pokemon as. Does it matter though? Because I just told you how I was in daycare watching Pokemon Indigo League. I just told you how in high school, this is a funny story too. In high school, somebody, as a joke, brought back Pokemon. And the way they brought it back was so amazing. Because we're all the same age. When they brought back the Game Boy Color. Oh my god, and they were making a joke about nerds. Then it really took off. A lot of people would bring the Game Boy Color and play Pokemon. It was cool. It was really cool. It was really cool. See, there's something I have to admit. I don't know why Pokemon was the shit. My father, I talk about my father a lot, but my father didn't want me to play video games. Like, oh no, you need to experience the outside world. But she was right. My father wouldn't change. My father, that's the funniest thing. I had a Nintendo 64 from the age of 4 with Mario Kart and Super Mario 64 to the age of, I want to say 18, where he finally bought me a PS3. And the PS3 was an excuse. The PS3 was an excuse to, if I was misbehaving, confiscate it. So he had me a PS3, and I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't allowed gaming on the weekdays. My mom, she was a bit more spoiler, and she would buy me everything I want. She buy me PS2. The PS2 I couldn't bring it to my dad's house. She would buy me games for DS. And you wanna know what's insane? What's really, really insane? Because she would buy me so many games for the DS. She wouldn't check it like my Game Boy Color. My Game Boy Color would go from my mom's house to my father's house. You know what game did I play? Pokemon Silver. Because the only console I could get with me was the the Game Boy Color. My favorite game, the Game Boy Color, Pokemon Silver, no doubt about it. I could say Pokemon Yellow, but that's the two of them. That's pretty much it. Anywho, this is why when I saw that female streamer, I had to do it. Anywho, hope you guys enjoy. I love y'all. Take it easy. Peace.